Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Leadership Go with the Brainy Leadership Team. I'm Michael Brainy, and I come your way once again. In our last episode, we started a series. We were talking about when you are leading, and we laid the premise that once you are a leader, you discover your purpose or what is expected of you at organizational level or even with an individual, yourself, your pursuits, there is a process you have to go through that makes you become that purpose or that expectation that is meant for you. And in the process, there are lots of things that comes along to meet you or you encounter as you go along and become. And we want to look at how to lead successfully and go through successfully. So last episode, we looked at becoming. We looked at sticking to your focus or maintaining your focus in your journey. And we looked at the factors that may come along you sticking or maintaining your focus. And then also we looked at the key to maintaining the focus and how to unlock your maintenance or your focus in the long run. And today we want to look at creating balance. Very important for every leader as you journey through your life. And you need to create balance. We need to create balance. I categorize it in three ways. Now let's imagine an athlete, and I've had encounters with a few of them, who is supposed to run a race for a country or for a region or for a particular group of people. And they are supposed to run the race, let's say, in a month's time. Now, what they do is they put themselves on a particular diet and certain attitudes, sometimes even sleep patterns before the day of competition. And once they get to the day of competition, everything they have, every preparation they've made goes into the journey. And then they put themselves through and travel. As soon as they come to the end of the competition, they cross the finish line and they come to the end of competition. Then they can focus on what next is there for them. Right? So you see three processes: before, during, and after. And if we want to create balance in our becoming, then we have to understand the before, the during, and the after. There are three areas that almost every leader will have to create a balance in order to be truly all-rounded successful. Right? The first area is your personal self. You know, your health is important. Your mental well-being is important. Your overall well-being is important for you to travel far and become who you are meant to be. Right? Several studies have shown that, for example, not having a good sleep pattern can affect your mental health. Right? And sometimes it can just put you in a state of depression, right? And all of that. So one of the areas you have to balance well is your personal self, your personal well-being as an individual. The second area is your work life. And your work life may be your job or your profession or your ministry, whatever you've been called to do or whatever you find yourself doing at a particular point in time. There is the need for you to create a balance. Now, you are balancing your job or your work with your personal life. And then there is a third aspect, that is relationship or social life. No, there is nobody who lives in an island alone. I mean, it's highly not reasonable to just go and stay somewhere and say you fulfill purpose. It's not true. You are always interacting with people at your workplace. You are always interacting with people. If you are married, you have your wife. And if you have children, they are also into the equation. If you are not married and you are in a courting a relationship or you are dating, it also has its demands, right? So relationship level, which could be the nuclear or internal, or even at workplace. So all of them comes into play, and they are not leaving you as you are becoming. So what you have to do is to create a balance. So understanding all these things and what roles they play within your life at every point in time is the before stage. Now, the during and the after comes connected. So, for example, if you go to work, you are working from a particular time to a certain time. So, you have a certain duration that you spend at work. Now, right after work, it means that you have closed the gap for working, and there is another thing you have to focus on. Right? And if you really, really will be successful all around, you can be successful in one area. You can be so successful in your job, promotions upon promotion, climbing and getting accolades and awards and all of that. But then maybe your relationship will be struggling. Your social life may be struggling. Maybe sometimes even it's at the expense of your personal life, your health and your well-being. Right? So it can be, but we are talking about creating a balance as you become. So the key here is strategic goal and time management. Right? So, and how do we unlock the key? By knowing that at this point in time, this is what I'm supposed to do, and after this, I make room for that. Right? So, and even at the workplace, because business ethics and work ethics will tell you that you don't have to be, let's say, a banker or you're a teacher or something, or you are in the health sector and maybe you are performing a surgery. Now you leave the surgery and talk to your friends or make a call. It's not accepted. Or somebody is in front of you withdrawing money or having to find out problems with their bank accounts and something, and you are chatting or you are talking to somebody, and it's not a good work ethic, right? So even within the workspace, there are some boundaries for us. And so you can only create time for this social life and relationship life when you are done performing a particular role, right? Outside that, you are limited. Similarly, when it's time to perform your relationship duties, when it's time to relax and engage family and have fruitful and valuable conversations with friends, you may have to now close a little bit on work and then really focus on spending some quality time. At the same time, when it comes to your personal self, and we will look at that in our next subsequent episodes, you would also have to make time for yourself. Like I said, your health is one of the keys for you to live long and to pursue your life and do whatever your purpose and do whatever you want to do. Once your health is at stake, a lot of things is at stake. So you yourself have to also create time for yourselves. And normally the question that comes up is, what about emergencies or impromptus that come along? And I'm sure we are all aware that sometimes, or most of the times, how to deal with this is to focus on it and deal with it once it comes and then move on, because they will always come. So for example, you are working, you know that I'm supposed to close work at 4 p.m. or at 3 p.m. And right after that, I'm going to have to spend time with family, or I'm going to have to spend time with myself, which is very important. And then right after work, an emergency comes, can be at work, can be external, that you have to attend to, meaning that your time for family or self is at stake. And I'm saying that the solution is to attend to that emergency if there is a need for it to be attended to there and then make time for yourself. And so I said the key to creating balance is effective time management and setting goals. So you set goals. At this point, I do this. At that point, I do this. And it kind of makes you an all-round successful person in your becoming. And so that's our study for today. That if you want to create an all-round balance, make sure your personal life is on point, your work life is on point, and your relationship life is on point. It's really some hard work, but that is the way to become successfully and create that balance. Thank you for joining us today. And today also, I want to hear from you. If there are specific areas that you think were lacking and now you are going to make commitments to become better, you'll be glad. Drop them in your comments, share with friends, and I'm going to see you in our next episode.